A woman named Elara lived in the quaint town of Willow Creek, where the willows danced gracefully along the river's edge, and the townsfolk lived in a harmony that mirrored the serene landscape. Her life, once a reflection of the town's tranquility, was shattered by the tempest of betrayal. Elara was a woman of grace and resilience, weaving her life around her husband, Aiden, and their two cherubic children. Her world revolved around Aiden's smiles and the children's laughter, a world where happiness seemed perennial. That was until Aiden's gaze wandered, ensnared by the charm of another woman, Isabel, a newcomer to Willow Creek, whose beauty was matched only by her cunning. The news of Aiden's second marriage to Isabel struck Elara like a bolt from the blue. In a society where monogamy was the unspoken law, Aiden's action was not just a personal betrayal, but a social taboo. Yet it was Elara who bore the brunt of the scandal. Once friendly and warm, the whispers of the townsfolk turned cold and judgmental. Consumed by his newfound love, Aiden turned his back on Elara and their children, casting them away as unwanted relics of his past. With her children in tow, Elara found herself ostracized, forced to live on the fringes of the society that once embraced her. Her spirit, however, remained unbroken. A flame of retribution began to kindle in the heart of her despair. She started by rebuilding her life from the ashes of her shattered dreams. Elara, once a homemaker, transformed into a maven of entrepreneurship. She opened a small bakery, using her culinary skills to captivate the palates of the townsfolk. Her bakery became a haven for lovers of sweets and those who sought warmth and understanding. Elara's resilience became a beacon of hope for many, particularly the downtrodden and the marginalized. As Elara's bakery flourished, Aiden's life began to unravel. Isabel's allure was a facade, hiding a manipulative nature. Aiden's wealth dwindled under Isabel's extravagant demands, and her capricious behavior eroded his social standing. The man who once held the town in his thrall was now isolated. His friends and allies turned adversaries. Elara, meanwhile, emerged as a pillar of the community. Her bakery was more than a business. It symbolized defiance against adversity. Her success was not just in her flourishing enterprise, but in the respect and admiration she garnered from the townsfolk. The turning point came on a crisp autumn evening. Now a shadow of his former self, Aiden entered Elara's bakery. The oven's warmth and fresh bread aroma contrasted starkly with his heart's cold emptiness. He looked at Elara, expecting resentment, but found only a serene indifference. In a voice tinged with regret, Aiden sought forgiveness, not for his betrayal, but for the anguish he had caused. Elara, with a wisdom honed by hardship, offered no forgiveness. Instead, she imparted a lesson of strength and dignity. She spoke of her journey, the nights drowned in tears and the days filled with relentless toil. She said of her love for her children, guiding light through the darkest times. Elara's words were not of vengeance, but of enlightenment. She had not sought revenge in the conventional sense. Her retribution was in her triumph over the circumstances that sought to break her. She had risen, not to strike Aiden down, but to lift herself and her children. Aiden left the bakery, his spirit laden with the weight of his actions. He had sought redemption in Elara's forgiveness, but found it in her unyielding strength and grace. As the years passed, Elara's bakery became a cornerstone of Willow Creek, a testament to the indomitable spirit of a woman who, against all odds, crafted her destiny with the same skill and love with which she baked her bread. Her story whispered amongst the willows and echoed along the river, became a legend in Willow Creek, a legend of a woman who turned her anguish into an ember of retribution, not to burn her transgressor, but to light her path to a new dawn. Elara's bakery, now a cornerstone of Willow Creek, had become more than just a source of sustenance. It was a sanctuary of hope and resilience. Each bread she baked was not just a mixture of flour and water, but a blend of her courage and indomitable spirit. The townsfolk, who once shunned her, now looked up to her, seeking the sweetness of her confections and the warmth of her wisdom. Meanwhile, Aiden's life continued its downward spiral. Isabel's true nature was no longer a secret, and her manipulations had left him financially and emotionally bankrupt. His once grandiose home symbolized his success and was a hollow reminder of his folly. The gardens that once flourished under Elara's tender care were now overgrown with weeds, mirroring the chaos in his life. Elara's children, Lily and Ethan, grew up to be reflections of their mother's strength and character. With her mother's grace, Lily pursued her passion for art, transforming the bakery's walls into canvases that told stories of hope and rebirth. Ethan, inheriting his mother's business acumen, expanded the bakery's reach, bringing Elara's creations to neighboring towns. As seasons changed, so did the lives of those in Willow Creek. Elara's bakery became a hub of community events. It hosted gatherings and celebrations and even became a place where people sought solace in sorrow. With her ever-present smile and listening ear, Elara became a figure of maternal comfort to many. One fateful day, a lawyer arrived at the bakery with news that would bring another turn in Elara's life. Aiden, plagued by illness and loneliness, had passed away. In his final days, consumed by regret, he had rewritten his will, leaving his remaining estate to Elara and their children. It was a last attempt at atonement, a gesture that arrived too late to mend the wounds of the past. Elara received the news with a stoic calmness. She had long forgiven Aiden, not for his sake, but for her peace. The inheritance, though substantial, changed little for Elara. She had built a life rich in love and respect, far more valuable than any material wealth. With the newfound resources, Elara decided to give back to the community that had become her extended family. She established a foundation in Aiden's name, dedicated to helping those facing hardships, a tribute to the lessons learned from her journey. Years passed, and Elara's legacy grew. Her bakery was no longer just a local establishment, but a symbol of triumph over adversity. People from far and wide visited, not just for the delicacies, but to experience the magic of the place that had nurtured a phoenix from the ashes of despair. Elara's story, once a tale of betrayal and loss, had transformed into an epic saga of redemption and empowerment. She had rebuilt her life and reshaped the very fabric of Willow Creek. Once a quiet and unassuming town, the town had become a beacon of hope, attracting souls seeking inspiration and strength. As an elderly Elara sat in her bakery, surrounded by the laughter of her grandchildren and the bustling of a thriving business, she reflected on her journey. The pain of the past had faded, leaving behind a legacy of strength, love, and resilience. Her eyes, mirrors of a life well lived, sparkled with the satisfaction of knowing that her story would inspire generations to come. In the twilight of her life, Elara realized that the greatest revenge was not found in the downfall of her transgressor, but in the rise of her spirit. She had turned her darkest hour into her greatest triumph, teaching all who knew her that the fiercest revenge is living a life well lived. Elara's story became a legend in Willow Creek, a tale passed down through generations. It was a story of a woman who faced the unthinkable, was broken but not defeated, and rose from despair to heights of unimaginable grace and strength. Her story was a testament to the power of the human spirit, a reminder that even in our darkest moments, there is always a path to a new dawn. As the sun set on Willow Creek, casting a golden glow over the town, Elara's bakery stood tall, a beacon of hope in a world often shrouded in shadows. It was a place where broken hearts found comfort, lost souls found direction, and a woman's courage and love wrote an epic tale of redemption and rebirth. In the golden years of Elara's life, the legacy of her bakery continued to flourish, becoming more than just a landmark in Willow Creek. It was a testament to her journey, symbolizing her strength and resilience. Her story, now profoundly interwoven into the town's fabric, inspired not just the residents of Willow Creek, but also those far beyond its borders. Elara's foundation, established in the memory of Aiden, grew exponentially, extending its reach and impact. It became a beacon of hope, supporting various causes, from education for the underprivileged to aid for those stricken by unforeseen tragedies. The foundation was Elara's way of turning her past hardships into channels of compassion and support for others. Lily and Ethan, now adults and pillars in their own right, took on more significant roles in managing the bakery and the foundation. Lily's artistic talents brought life to numerous community projects, transforming public spaces into vibrant areas of art and culture. Her murals, imbued with hope and resilience, adorned the walls of schools, hospitals, and community centers, turning them into canvases that narrated the indomitable human spirit. On the other hand, Ethan used his business acumen to expand the bakery's reach. He pioneered new avenues, including a culinary training program for the youth, particularly those at a crossroads. This program became a pathway for many to discover their passions and build a future, much like how his mother rebuilt hers. As the years rolled by, Elara witnessed the fruits of her resilience in the thriving community surrounding her. The bakery, always bustling with activity, became a popular gathering spot for Willow Creek residents and tourists who had heard of Elara's remarkable story. The bakery's menu evolved, featuring recipes that Elara had perfected over the years, each with its own story. There was the Phoenix bread, a rich, spicy fruit loaf that symbolized her rise from the ashes, the Willow Whispers, delicate pastries that paid homage to the willows by the creek under which she had found solace during her darkest days, and the Elara's Embrace, a warm, comforting pie that became a favorite among the patrons. One autumn evening, as the leaves painted the town in hues of orange and gold, a grand celebration was held at the bakery. It was not just a celebration of Elara's upcoming birthday, but a commemoration of her journey. The whole town gathered, sharing stories of how Elara's strength had touched their lives. During the celebration, Elara took a moment to reflect on her journey. She realized that her life, which once seemed shattered beyond repair, was now a beautiful mosaic of experiences, each piece a testament to her resilience and courage. Her story was not just about the pain of betrayal or the triumph over adversity. It was about the power of the human spirit, the capacity to transform pain into purpose and despair into hope. As night fell, the bakery was aglow with warmth and laughter. Music filled the air, and the aroma of freshly baked bread mingled with the scent of autumn. Elara, surrounded by her family, friends, and the community she had built, felt a deep sense of fulfillment. In the final chapter of her life, Elara saw the legacy she had built, not just in the bricks of the bakery or the deeds of the foundation, but in the hearts of the people she had touched. She had sown seeds of kindness, resilience, and hope, which had blossomed into a garden of community, love, and support. Elara's story, etched into the annals of Willow Creek, continued to inspire long after she was gone. It was the story of a woman who chose to rise, rebuild, and redefine her destiny in the face of betrayal and despair.